What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, listen, we've been covering this story out of Troy, Michigan, and it's about the Oxford Center, which was supposed to be a medical facility that had a hyperbaric chamber that exploded with a 5-year-old boy in it this past January 31st. Little boy's name was Thomas Cooper. He was 5 years old, autistic, and he died tragically. Now, 4 people have been arrested, including the owner, pictured up here. And this is who I want to focus on today, guys, because this woman right here should take the full brunt of everything the 3 other employees did, and she should be shown no leniency whatsoever. Ladies and gentlemen, more information has come out since she's been arrested a couple of days ago, and it don't make the story no better. In fact, it makes everything worse. For this woman to be an owner, she was grossly irresponsible, negligent, and very insensitive with some of the stuff I'm going to tell you guys tonight, because this flew under the radar. A lot of people haven't seen this. You know, they just know that she was locked up. But what happened afterwards, it's no way this is acceptable in society at all. Take a look at this.
Well, right now, court documents are revealing some disturbing details into the death of a 5-year-old boy that died inside of a hyperbaric chamber. Now, the swear-to document that was revealed ahead of this week's arraignment breaks down what was going on inside of Oxford Center in Troy. Victor Williams has been following this story. So, Victor, there's allegations of wrongdoings and trying to cover them up.
That's right, Damon. And while the owner and operator of this facility is on a $2.5 million bond, we've been going through these documents that show why that number is so high to begin with.
There are lockstep procedures that are in place to prevent this sort of thing.
Aside from allowing a child to wear pajamas that allegedly caused static electricity sparking the fatal explosion, and then taking a photo of the child's body on fire, sending it to a person via text message, it's also said that workers at the Oxford Center didn't even give 5-year-old Thomas Cooper the proper grounding strap to ensure his safety while undergoing treatment.
You have to be grounded. You give them a little electrostatic gel, you put the ground on, you test that ground, you verify that you are grounded, and then you ground that to the chamber. So it's one of those things that you actually have to make sure is in place.
Dr. Joseph Deturi is a hyperbaric chamber expert who says that certain procedures have to be followed to a T to make sure nothing goes wrong.
My biggest thing here is I don't want anybody to get the impression that every hyperbaric facility is like this.
Documents also show the Oxford Center Troy location prioritized dollars over patients, bringing almost anyone in the door. In an exchange of text messages between Anderson and someone else, the question of if the hyperbaric chamber would cure erectile dysfunction is raised. Anderson's response was, quote, "Whatever gets bodies in those chambers."
I'm horrified. I'm horrified by a person that would do this to another human being, like, oh, they didn't do anything.
Now, Peterson remains behind bars on that $2 million bond. She's with Jeffrey Mosteller, who also is behind bars, but they're going to be returning to court in just a few weeks alongside 2 other employees that bonded out. Live in Troy, Victor Williams, Local 4.
All right, Victor, thank you.
Well, also tonight, disturbing developments in that deadly hyperbaric chamber explosion in Troy, which killed a 5-year-old boy. Now, according to documents, the owner of the facility took pictures of the child while he was on fire.
Awful. And that was followed by some heinous texts. And Fox 2's Jessica Dupnack is joining us live in studio with more on this. And it's just really troubling all the way around, Jessica.
And we both know that this scene was jarring for even the most seasoned first responders who responded back in January when this happened. That new digital evidence, text messages that came out in court from the owner, Tamala Peterson, seemingly mocking that little boy, questioning why he didn't do anything to put out the fire that engulfed him.
Arrests on Monday were a really big first step.
The owner of the Oxford Center, Tamala Peterson, and 3 employees arrested and charged this week. Peterson, now facing murder and manslaughter, gave Troy police a literal run for their money when they moved in for an arrest.
She did run, which was our officers found a little odd.
They caught her a couple doors down, then seized her electronics, computer, and cell phone she allegedly tried to wipe clean after 5-year-old Thomas Cooper died when the hyperbaric chamber he was in caught fire and exploded. In text messages that came out in court, Peterson seemingly mocked the helpless child, sending photos of him burning from security footage, saying, quote, "If my leg was on fire, I would at least try to hit it and put it out. He just laid there and did nothing."
The loss of a child is one of the most horrific things that any family can go through.
That same forensic dump of her cell phone showed another string of messages where Peterson seems to want to cash in on the hyperbaric treatments. Someone asked her about treatments for erectile dysfunction, and she replied, quote, "Whatever gets bodies in those chambers, LOL."
It's important to be very careful in the treatment that you seek, the money that you spend, and do your research.
2 of those employees, Alita Moffitt and Gary Markin, bonded out already. The theory of prosecutors is the crew fudged records on the machines to avoid spending on mandated maintenance, and a lack of ground wires caused the spark that led to the deadly explosion.
Defendants involved should have known that there, was a chance, a reasonable chance that we would see this kind of outcome.
So Tamala Peterson ruled a flight risk in this situation, given a $2 million bond. She ran from police, and also, Taryn, you reported earlier this week she withdrew some currency.
Well, she had some Iraqi currency, a Chinese visa. Her husband is a forensic accountant. There was fears that because this was a cash business, that they were stashing cash everywhere, and that's another reason why. But there's, all of this was just so troubling. Anyway, unimaginable for a parent to deal with this. But yet, now when even more information, and you hear about these text messages and how purposeful, allegedly, this all was, it just really, you can't wrap your mind around it.
Yeah, the tone of those text messages. And as of tonight, still in custody on that $2 million bond.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for that.
Hey, Jessica, thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, this right here is what's wrong with society nowadays. We lack empathy for others, even if what misfortune befalls them is our own fault. Let's put this all in perspective. She said some horrible things about a dying child that was under her care. She mocked them, recorded them, sent it to people with captions saying, who would just sit there and let their leg burn? If it was me, I'd at least tried to pat it or put it out. I'm gonna show you something. I do a lot of sick stories, right? I go over a lot of crazy stories that are out here. This is one of the craziest ones for me from a standpoint of common sense and just thinking about, just how human beings are towards each other nowadays. First of all, you could stomach watching that. Second of all, for you to put captions under it after watching it and saying, hey, how could he just sit there after that happened? First of all, he was in an explosion. Anybody that's been in an explosion knows there's a concussion aspect to it, or concussion blast that makes you dizzy or disoriented. He might have been out of his mind, you know what I'm saying, in distress while he was burning. And he might have wanted to put himself out, but he couldn't because his motor skills were off because he was just in a fucking explosion. See, there's always these people out here that put an adult mindset in that of a child. Then he was autistic on top of that. We still trying to figure out autism. And for you to do that, he came to you for help. You and them people that ran up under you, where y'all fixed the fake calibration so y'all didn't have to pay money for normal preventive maintenance. And for you to say that, it's bad. It's bad. Mocked him. Ran from police, tried to physically run. Your skinny ass ain't outrunning no man. Try to destroy the evidence when they caught her. Try to erase all the stuff off the phone. Smiled in your damn mugshot. Are you serious? What you think about that? You get that stupid ass smirk on your face. You far from out of the woods on this. And if it was up to me, she wouldn't have no bond. That's another reason why I got a problem with the justice system. Bullshit. This woman chose cash over the consciousness of people. She didn't care. See the thing? Hey. Does this fix erectile dysfunction? Whatever gets people in there, tell them yeah. So basically, you just want to get people inside that chamber Because remember, it was a cash term business, meaning they was accepting cash. So when you accepting cash and all of that stuff, it's very easy to take and put that up under the rug and not document it and push it different places. That's probably why they was doing it. In fact, I'm more than sure of it. They gave her a $2.5 million bond and she a flight risk. Motherfuckers in the hood won't get no bond for doing some of the most craziest thing. This right here was psychologically evil and they gave her a bond. See that? Gave her a bond. $2.5 million, yeah, but she still got a bond. She shouldn't get nothing. Shouldn't get nothing. They got a debt to rights. Shouldn't get nothing. How you think this boy's parents feel? How you think the mother feel after seeing that? Already a traumatic thing, and she suffered a tremendous loss. And now to hear that the people that caused this were insensitive towards you and your dying child, unacceptable, man. Unacceptable. What you think about it? You took pictures of a dying kid. Listen, guys, I'm gonna get up off of here. I'm trying not to lose my shit. It's Friday. We got the live stream coming up tonight at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. I don't want to have a headache when I do that for y'all. So I'm gonna just leave this alone. But this is very, very bad. Money does not make you anybody. It just accentuates more of who you are. It just magnifies who you are as a person. If you're a good person, you're a good person with money. But if you're a douchebag and a piece of shit, a lot of times it's accentuated because you have money. And you feel as though you could treat people the way you want to treat them and do things that you want to do. And because the inflow of the money, your personal greed and mental makeup makes it to where you don't even see the obvious. Ultimate destruction. And look at your fucking dumbasses now. All of them. All of them, I'd send them out the pasture. Because I'm going to tell you something. Even though these people was working for her, she was telling them what to do. Right? They knew that eventually, especially the safety manager, he knew eventually this was going to be messed up. Did you hear the professional talking in the first video? You had a little boy, I think they said felt pajamas or whatever pajamas that conduct the electricity and hanging wires in a fully oxygenized, 100% oxygen capsule. Recipe for disaster. Nobody seen that coming? Listen, how many of you guys when you was younger, and we used to wear those kind of pajamas, we would like lift the covers up and we would run our legs back and forth together like this, and we would see sparks coming off of them? He had them same type of pajamas on. Now, you know there's certain protocol when they put people in these chambers. These people should have known that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, he can't go in there with the pajamas, or they should have put a robe on him or something that he could wear. But they didn't do that because they wasn't worrying about that. They only cared about the money, and look what happened. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. This is what happened when you choose money over people. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.